the online coach and bikini competitor, probably the greatest training partner, cameraman, and girlfriend, Brandon, I hope you're listening, you could ask for, because she went from Canada to the UK, then to Dubai, then back to Canada, all for some dude with a hard body. Harding, sorry, something about Harding. It doesn't matter. Not about him. This is about you. Jordy, how are you doing today?
Hi, doing so well. Really tired, but actually quite good. But I'm sipping on a brain so that I have some energy going on.
I'm glad you've got energy. You're going to need it. I've been trying to think of a good way to say this, but, I'm not going to censor myself, and I'm going to be honest. What the fuck is going on in Canada? You guys are locking back down? What's happening?
Dude, everything has now been extended as well after yesterday's announcement. So we're in lockdown until mid-May now. Yeah. Stay-at-home order. So what do? You just chill at home? Yeah.
Why? Is there any reason?
So they have said that the cases have been going up, but it's the exact same situation. They just name it different names. So it's stay at home or lockdown or quarantine. It's just all under the same bracket, but they just keep switching the name, the rules are the same, or maybe they're different. Not sure.
That's ridiculous. I mean, a lot of people might think, I can see you watching with your beady little eyes thinking this, that since you're a fitness influencer or your job's through Instagram or YouTube, that you had it easy throughout this whole thing. I think you disagree because of God knows where you can pull motivation from or what you can do after a while of being locked in your house. How did you deal with this year?
So I'm very grateful for the opportunity that Brandon and I both have. We are able to change locations quite easily because we both know that our jobs are both online. Our jobs are both fitness, and that's where our lives revolve around. So if we don't have access to that, it completely kind of cuts our jobs off, which I know a lot of people have suffered from for sure, but we have the opportunity to be able to travel around. Yes, it is nice, but at the same time, it's really hard because then you're away from family, you're away from friends, you get torn apart from that situation. And mentally, and emotionally, it was detrimental to both of us. That's why we're back in Canada, because I miss my family so much for being away from them because we were prioritizing us being able to work.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
You're currently in prep, right, for a show?
Yeah, we both are about 7 weeks out of our first show, and then we are probably going to do 2 more as well.
Were you planning to do a competition last year? Did anything get in the way? What happened with that?
So the beginning of last year, I actually decided to do my first start of my prep for a bikini show. I had been putting on muscle for about 1.5 years prior, really focusing on powerlifting and including as much strength training into my routine as possible. I had my coach was the powerlifting coach of Canada. He was training me to put on as much muscle and size as possible. So we went through a massive build phase for about 1.5 years. And then at the beginning of last year, I was like, I'm going to do a bikini show. I want to do this. I want to take my physique to the next level. I've never been able to do that. So let's do it. So I started in January and I got to about the beginning of March before everything had shut down. So as soon as everything locked down, my competition prep was done. I was toast, etc. So I went through that last year and it was so emotionally draining and mentally tiring for me in general because I had my hopes up. I was so excited to be able to step on stage because it was something that I had honestly been dreaming about doing, taking your body to that next level. And for me, being very competitive growing up in sports and stuff like that, that was something that was my next challenge. It's okay, we've done all the sports side of things. What can I do with my body to take it to the next level, to challenge myself, to try something that I'll be able to step outside of my comfort zone?
Yeah. I mean, in this day and age with social media, you don't need to compete, but you choose to. I mean, you just need a good physique and a half decent personality and you might be able to make it somewhere, but you have all 3 and you do compete. So why take it to that next level? What's telling you to do that?
Because so for me, my kind of fitness journey and my story has not been an easy one. When I was younger, I suffered from being overweight and I was bullied for my weight at school. So that was something that has always been a driving factor within my journey, where it led me to high school, where I suffered from two eating disorders, where I suffered from bulimia and anorexia, and I would go days, weeks, etc., without eating or trying to only consume minimal amounts of calories and doing excessive amounts of cardio. Now, that has all been like a fitness story leading up to, I want to say, like university, college kind of thing, where I started to get more into fitness. I wanted to feel stronger. I wanted to feel more badass. You know how women go through the journey of being that cardio bunny and then hopping onto those weights and becoming an absolute badass woman that's strong, powerful, can lift more than the guys. And those guys are just looking at you like, what are you doing? I want to do that. And the more that I lifted, the more that I felt strong, the more I wanted to do, the more I wanted to be in the bodybuilding industry. It wowed me. It shocked me. I didn't know that girls could look that certain way. I thought that in order to fit in, I had to be skinny because I had always been bullied for being overweight or not looking how someone else should. So for me, that was one of my driving factors in order to take on prep. I was like, I have always wanted to challenge myself in terms of sports, in terms of fitness, in terms of life. And my body was the next thing that I wanted to master. And I want to take to that next level, because I think that you grow so much from going through a prep, mentally, physically, everything, emotionally. Like, it's very emotionally draining to do a prep. But when you come out of that and when you master it every single day, when you check those boxes every single day, it feels amazing.
Yeah. Let me paint a picture for you and see if it sounds familiar. Because when I was younger, like up till 6th, 7th grade, I was very overweight and obese. And then just like high school, I entered high school freshman year, I just started cutting back on calories like crazy and finding excessive ways to do more and more cardio. I got into CrossFit. I was doing football. I was eating like 1,800 calories a day of just like vegetables. And I got into the cycle, and then I wanted to start putting on muscle, but at the same time, I was so scared of putting on an ounce of fat again that it drove me up the wall. And then it took me 2 years of lifting weights and not really going anywhere in strength or size to be like, okay, I'm going to commit to putting on more weight. And then I put on that more weight. And then I tried to start cutting back again, and I got scared of losing all the muscle. So it was this weird. And as soon as I start to get leaner again, I think, well, I'm scared to put on size. Are you scared that going through a prep is going to put you in that mindset again?
Dude, I am scared shitless, because honestly, I've talked to Brandon about this. Like, it's so nice that we are able to do this together, because I'm very scared to go back to those eating disordered ways or the eating disorder type of mindset around it, because I don't want to get bigger. But at the same time, I know that bodybuilding is all about evolving and doing better each time. So taking the time to put on more size, put on more muscle in order to get a little bit bigger, that's fine. That's healthy. That's normal. So eating food is normal. But wrapping my head around that is going to be definitely a challenge for me, because I like feeling small. I like feeling shredded. I like seeing my muscles pop. I like seeing different things every single morning, maybe a little bit more detail. Maybe I drop 1 extra pound. It's really nice to see, because it's a positive affirmation that I'm doing things to get to the goal that I'm at right now. Now, coming out of comp, I need to be very mentally strong and mentally aware of everything that I'm feeling, or else I definitely will revert back to those ways, because I know that I have a past of it. So the fact that I'm aware of that, it's better than most, because I know that a lot of bikini girls, when they are entering a competition, they're not aware of the reverse diet, of the side effects of going through a prep, and they think it's normal to binge eating afterwards, which it is, because your body's starved. But at the same time, doing it in a more healthy, fulfilling way where you are properly reversing out of it is going to be the best for your body in a health perspective, and your mindset in a health perspective as well. So I'm okay with the weight gain, but when I'm like right now, but we'll see in another 7 weeks after my show, when I'm like, okay, now we actually got to put on weight.
That's I think for a lot of us, we get into this fitness, at least for me, and it sounds like you and I are very similar. You get into this fitness niche or realm because you want to look better and you want to maybe impress somebody, or you maybe want to feel better. But a couple of years down the line, it becomes more mental, and it's more of a mental, like you said, ticking those boxes, checking those things with prep. It's that lifestyle in general. Even in an off season or when you're trying to put on more size, it's still a daily goal, a daily objective to make yourself just feel like you're doing something and accomplishing something, which you are. And I feel like a lot of people neglect that when they start. They don't imagine how impactful fitness can be on your mindset. Have you found a mindset shift have you found you've had a great mindset shift since you started this whole journey?
100%. Mindset is everything when it comes to fitness. Like for me, as you know, I'm a coach. I'm an online coach. I work with women around the world, kind of within the fitness realm, changing their lifestyles, changing their mindset patterns, gaining confidence. Like that is something I truly work on with my girls. And I do check-ins once a week. And one of the questions I focus on is their mindset. How are you feeling overall? What do you feel? Are you stressed? Are you feeling okay? Because at the end of the day, if you are feeling stressed, if you are feeling upset, annoyed, etc., you're not going to perform as well in the gym. You're not going to feel as good overall. You're not going to want to achieve any fitness goals, because why would that matter? I'm feeling like shit. I'm just going to sit down and have a break on the couch rather than go to the gym and actually do something. Right? For me, personally, fitness changed my entire mindset and my entire lifestyle, because I was probably a lot more negative when I was in high school because of the bullying when I was younger. I was probably, because I thought everyone was out there judging me. I thought people cared more about judging me than cheering me on. So I had this perspective that everyone was out to kind of get me. Fitness kind of changed that. It gave me a place where if I was stressed, if I was unhappy, if I was sad, if I had a fight with my mom the night before, the day up, I would go to the gym and I'd work out my feelings. I'd do yoga to chill and focus on my mindset. I would do anything possible so that I could be as positive and as healthy in my mind as possible, because there's no point in being negative. There's no point in looking at the world as a negative place. There's negative people, but there's reasons why they're negative. And I think that I always see that within others. And I feel like when people enter a fitness journey in general, it can completely transform someone's life overall. They'll feel a little bit better about themselves. They'll be sitting up a little bit more open to the world. They'll be, they'll be able to go out more because they'll want to. It just completely shifts and changes your mindset overall about you, yourself, and about others.
Yeah, I think it takes that struggle in the beginning, and I think what it really gives you is confidence in yourself, because it doesn't really matter what other people think, because they don't know what you just went through with your body on both sides of the spectrum. I mean, for me, what you're saying resonates so much, because I found I was going through a really dark spot mentally in that when I was really overweight. And I found I started using exercise once I really got into it instead of food to cope with what was going on in my head. Right. So I would always food was my happy place. I love food. I mean, partly because I'm an Italian kid from New Jersey, but I mean, food was just how I escaped whatever problems I had. And then once I looked in the mirror and said, I'm done with this. I don't like this anymore. I don't like me. I don't like how I act. No one likes me. There's got to be a reason for that. I was like, I'm going to change for myself. And as I started getting more into fitness, that became an addiction, right? And that became my emotional outlet. It's how I tried to solve every emotional problem that I had. It was going on a run. I remember one day I was just having so much going through my head, and I was collapsed on the floor, and I was like, I'm just going to run. And I just ran around in circles outside for 25 minutes, listening to the same Eminem song on repeat until I just collapsed. And that was my way of solving the issue. But through all that, it gave me the confidence that, hey, I can solve my issues. I have control over what I'm doing, as messed up as a time as it is. And I'm not perfect. I still mess up all the time. But I know when I sit down with myself that I solved that version of me and I solved the too skinny version of me. I'm confident in me. So I feel like since you've been through a similar situation, have every right to be teaching people about confidence.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I try my best, but I don't know. Everyone struggles with it still. Like for me, like I'll go through my phases. I won't feel great one day, but I also remind myself where I've been and what I've gone through to get to this point too. Like I've done a lot. I've been through a lot, and like being grateful for where I am at now and being able to help others feel that way too. Like feel confident, feel good about themselves, accomplish whatever goals that they want. Like I've worked with so many girls over the years just to like, that they've completely transformed their lives just by like implementing simple things, aka being active, drinking water, eating healthy, just feeling a bit different, you know, just simple things that can make a complete transformation in your life, which I think you've done the same as well. So it's really cool. Just hearing you talk, it's like you can be helping so many people just by speaking. So
I'm trying, and I see what you do. And one of the most mesmerizing things that you bring is your personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got this happy, bubbly personality. And I don't know if it's just because you drink a ton of caffeine, but the question is, you are a human being, right? Like a human?
Oh,
okay, just
sometimes a robot, you know?
Okay, well, I was just checking, because as a human, we go through times of feeling like shit. We go through times of feeling absolutely like you said, not wanting to do anything, no confidence. Confidence is a foreign language at those times. Yet your job and your personality, everything, your social media is built around this confident figure, this happy person. How do you find the energy, or where do you pull from to post on a day that you feel like shit?
I'll be honest. I will be honest with my audience about how I'm feeling. That's how I can motivate myself as well. Like the captions I write, the posts that I do aren't only for other people. They're for myself too. It's a reminder to myself. Like for me, I've always loved writing. So captions for me is like my art form. It's something that it's my journal. It's like how I'm feeling at the time, but also I want people to understand that like they're not alone in the situation either. I feel a certain way as well. So just because, like, for example, I posted a picture today about self-love, focusing on that, focusing on yourself. And like for me, I need to do that as well. 2 days ago, I had a breakdown. I sat in bed and I cried for a good hour, and I probably cried 3 or 4 other times that day as well. I was emotionally wrecked. People go through this. Just because I am very positive, confident, and happy majority of the time doesn't mean I don't have those dark times still. That nobody is perfect whatsoever, including myself. I go through those phases, and especially during a prep time, I am so emotional. So it just adds to that, right? So it's just understanding those feelings, accepting that like at that time, you're going to feel that way. That's fine. Accept that, feel it, cry, do whatever you need to do, scream if you have to, but not at anyone else, just yourself. Okay. Like don't go screaming at anyone else, but literally just like be okay with those emotions, because they are going to pass. They are not going to be there forever. Accept them, and then do whatever you can to get out of it. Get out of bed, go for a walk, spend time reading, maybe listen to a podcast, go hit a session. If you're at home, hit an at-home workout, put on a yoga session, like get yourself into a mindset where like, okay, so you just cried, so you're going through shit right now. What can you do to make it better? Because at the end of the day, like if you can focus on what you can do at your darkest times on how to improve that, I promise you, you can get out of anything. Like, to be honest.
Are you the voice you need to hear? Did you start doing that? Like, because I started doing it because I didn't really realize why I was saying the things I was saying, and I realized it was what I needed to hear. I needed someone else to say it, and that someone else was just me, and then it happened to help other people. Is it similar with you?
Yeah, for sure. For all of like my written stuff that you've ever seen on my social media, it's for me too, because other people need to hear it, but also I do too sometimes, and some other people aren't going to say it for me. So I'd rather reiterate that to myself or write out how I'm feeling, and then give it to someone else who might find value in it as well. Like, I don't know. I just found that like the more that I'm open and transparent and honest about how I'm feeling, other people understand as well, because other people are going through it and they can resonate with how I'm feeling too. So I don't know. Yes, is my answer.
Yeah. It's hard when you have very, like I said, bubbly, happy, positive seeming personality. I have a similar one over my page, but I feel like unless I make it clear on something like this or in a different post, that's not how I'm like all the time. That's who I want to be. That's the character I'm trying to become, right? I wish everything I said stuck in my head like a bulletin board and I could do every single day for the rest of my life. But it's not. Like you said, you had a breakdown 2 days ago. I was staring at my computer yesterday trying to do calculus, and something about math and school in general, when I sit down to do it, every ounce of energy just gets sucked out of me and I just want to disintegrate. I was sitting there. I was in a great mood. I sat down. I'm like, I'm finally going to do my homework. Pulled out my pen. I stared at the screen. And if there was a recording, it would have been.
Oh my God.
It was like 2 minutes later. I'm like, I want to cease to exist. And I mean that. And they're like, and so and it just something inside of me caused this reaction. And I got angry and I just wanted to freaking blow up. But that happens to everybody for God knows what reason. We have these emotions and these chemicals and everything. And maybe it's because I'm a 16-year-old, but it's still, we all go through stuff like this, right? I'm turning 17 in June. Yeah.
You have the emotional maturity of a 25-year-old.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you ever feel like you're not doing enough, that you could always be doing more? Does that cross your mind? Okay.
Every day. You
can always get over that.
You can always do more, but you have to accept that you have a certain amount of time every single day. If you are doing whatever you can every single hour of the day, what more can you do at that point? Do you need to be hard on yourself? Do you need to beat yourself up for not doing as much as you possibly can? Especially if, like, let's say, for example, I have a journal where I write out things that I want to accomplish during the day. So I will go through that every single morning or every single night, and I'll write down exactly what I need to do the next day. And then I'll look at that in the morning and I'll be like, okay, this is exactly what I need to get done. Let's do this. And majority of the time, I do get it done because I'm very driven and I really like checking off boxes. If I've brought that up like multiple times now, I like checking off boxes and making sure stuff is done. I'm very organized in that sense. But if I don't get something done for the day, and I have done everything that I can to do as much as I can, to do as much off that list as possible, and I didn't get one or two things done, or I didn't get a couple things done, or I was having a shit day, so I didn't get half the things done, I have to accept that that's what has happened this day, and what I need to do then is focus on what I can do tomorrow to make it better, what I can do tomorrow to do more, what I can do the next day to do more, just to make sure that I'm always doing as much as I possibly can. My days are quite filled, to be honest. So for me, I just try to make sure to do as much as I possibly can, but you can always do more. You can always be more. You can always reach out. You can always help more people. It's just finding ways to do that.
Yeah. See, I created this mindset. No, I didn't really create it. I've always had the mindset of just trying to do more and more and be better, right? It's my whole thing. But sometimes taking a step back is being better, because I compare myself to other people. Like, for example, Brandon was one of the people I compared myself to the most when I started. I was like, I want to be like him. He's cool, and I want to be like that. And then it turned into DiCaprio. I was like, I want to be like Leonardo. I want to be DiCaprio. He is like the perfect human. And then it was like, I had to come to terms with, but I can't. I have to be me, and I have to be the best I can be. But through that, I still look at other people and I still think, well, I'm not doing enough to be as good as I possibly could be. And it creates this, I don't know, I'm 16. I gotta live in the moment, but it's so hard for me to do that because I'm always looking to what I could be doing next. And then I feel like I'm missing things, you know?
And that's why you're going to be so successful, because you are always looking to the future. because just because you're comparing yourself to others, which you shouldn't do, which is something that I try not to do myself, but I go through that too. But when you're comparing yourself to others and looking at what other people are doing, you're also picking up those traits. You're seeing what others are trying to do to accomplish their goals. So in a way, you're also absorbing what other people are doing. So for example, Brandon, he is very hardworking. He pushes through everything. He always does more, always, always, always. He motivates me to do more, and I do the same for him. And I just think that like when you look at someone else's life and you see how much they're doing, it can either motivate you or intimidate you. Now, it should motivate you because you should be like, holy shit, I want to do more because that person is too. I want to like do whatever I can to be the best version of myself because this person is doing the same. That's amazing. When it turns into like an intimidation factor where you're like, oh my God, no, I can't do it. Can't do it. I know a couple people that have gone through that and are intimidated by other people doing more and succeeding and everything like that. And it turns into like a toxicity where it's like, okay, well, I'm never going to amount to that. So why should I even try? But if you let those people motivate you and take on those intrinsic values that they live by every single day, then you, as like a successful 16-year-old turning 17, already doing a podcast, already doing his thing on social media, impacting others, like you are going to take on those things and it's going to motivate you and push you further.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out what to put my energy into because I like to dump myself into everything I'm doing. I'm like, well, I have to be the best at this. I have to do not the best in the sense that I need to be better than other people. I just need to be the best I can be at this. But I mean, when you're doing that with every single thing you're doing, and your mind's like a dog chasing a squirrel, it's all over the place. Like I got a new job and I'm like, well, I need to memorize every single thing by the next week I'm in there. So I'm losing sleep because I'm like, I have to memorize how to make a caramel macchiato and how to make a milkshake and how to clean everything. And then I'm thinking about school and I'm like, well, I need to take the hardest classes possible because I don't even know why, because I don't want to do any of that ever again. And then I want to act and I got to do the podcast. And so how do you figure out what to put your energy into and where to go? Maybe that can take a little bit less effort.
Well, school is going to be your most important part. Okay. You need an education at the end of the day. And that is something that like my mom has grounded into my brain since I literally could walk. You're getting an education, you're getting an education, you're getting an education, which was the most important thing. So focus on your school. Now, you are an amazing human. You are amazing at acting.
Thank you.
Saw that from like your freaking Leonardo DiCaprio act, which was honestly, that was the video that Brandon showed me where we saw you for the first time and we're like, holy shit, this kid is magical. Like, he's going far. So you can't stop that. Now that you've started a podcast, it's amazing. You're going to do so well with it because you want to succeed and you want to do more, but you need to find out what you are most passionate about, what you love the most, and what you truly want to spend your time on. Do you want to spend your time on this podcast?
It's because the reason I started this was something you said first was I want to listen to people that I respect so much. Everyone I've had on this podcast, whether it was the buddy of mine that I've known at school that was like bullied and like no one really cared about him, but now he's like 25th in the world in the CrossFit, or whether it's the person I had on last week that started this ice cream company that is the best ice cream in the country, or whether it's you, who's someone I really look up to. And I only started following you honestly because I was following Brandon. And then I was like, oh my God, there's this whole other type of influencer and people out there. And like I said before, it's your energy and your ability to promote that energy that it makes me want to be like you in whatever way I can. So that's why I started the podcast. I want to hear what makes you do what you do. Why do you do it? How do you do it? I just want to learn, you know?
So honestly, like I found what I was most passionate about. That's why I do what I do. I wasn't a social media influencer to start. For me, I started my journey in school. I went to university I went for a Bachelor of Science, focusing on neuroscience. I wanted to operate on brains. I wanted to be a doctor. Grey's Anatomy got me, but also family-oriented stuff also got me there as well, because I had a relative that passed away from a brain tumor injury. We don't know what happened, but I was so broken from it that I wanted to figure out what happens with people's brains that makes them go from like completely okay to brain dead. That freaks me out. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go to school for that, because I wanted to do as much research as I possibly could on people's brains. Now, during the whole situation in school, I fell in love with fitness. And for me, my friends would come to me and ask me questions about like fitness, lifting, and stuff like that. And someone recommended to me, how about you become a personal trainer? Do that during school. Like that would be great for you. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So became a personal trainer, loved it, did it for 2 years. And during that time, my online presence started to pick up a little bit more. And I started getting requests around the world for online coaching. I'm like, what the hell is this? That is not personal training. That is not online coaching. It does not work. It does work, by the way. That's why I have it.
That's why you do it.
That's currently doing that. But for me, like I got more interested in that side of things because my Instagram started popping off. My other social media stuff started popping off, and I was like, okay, let's try this. What can I do online? How can I organize this online? So I transitioned everything from personal training to online. And then when I was done with school, I was like, okay, you're done. You finished it. Do you want to go to med school, or do you want to pursue this Instagram fitness online coaching point of view? So for me, I threw myself into my online coaching. I built my business, and that is what I was most passionate about. I wanted to help as many people as I possibly could, and I didn't know how to do it, but online coaching helped me do that, because now I'm able to access 60, 70, 80 girls rather than that one personal training client that I'm seeing for 1 hour a day. I'm allowed to impact 80 girls' lives in one day rather than one person's life for an hour. That's it. I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do it on a bigger scale. I wanted to help as many people as possible. And then the social media started to grow. And I saw that I could help people just by the words that I was saying, just by writing out something that I truly felt that I cared about, and someone else did too. And someone else felt that as well. And it changed their life for a second, or made them smile for a second, or motivated them for just a second. But I wanted to do more of it. And that is something that I will always be passionate about. Helping others is my thing. And like, that is all I've ever wanted to do. And I love that I'm able to do that right now.
Yeah. I consider myself lucky because, well, for many reasons, but one of them, because I found my passion at a young age. Like I found there's no doubt in my mind what I want to do for the rest of my life. And that is acting. And I want to do this every week as much as I can, because it's acting is telling a story, right? And the only way you can really tell stories from different perspectives is learning about other people. And I feel like that's what life's all about, learning and understanding other people, trying to figure out how other people work so you can figure out how you should work and how we can all get along, right? And I found my passion at a very young age recently, right? A couple years ago. And I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like you saw the DiCaprio thing on Instagram. I get a lot of like compliments on that one, and I'm like, that's not even really. I mean, it's acting, but it's not in that sense of like. Wait till the show comes out. I'm in a movie that's gonna come out, and it's done through school. And it's a full production, and that's me in my real element. That's me in the character. I became that character learn how the mind worked, learn how to be that person. I didn't like literally start talking like him all the time, but I did consciously start to think how he thinks. And so when I'm on set in costume in real time, that's acting to me. The DiCaprio thing was fun, but that's not really what it is. But a lot of people out there, I found, usually in their dicky high school ways of responding to me, have no idea what they want to do. I'm like, so what do you want to do? I want to be successful. Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that. How do you want to do that? Just business. Oh, good for you. What do you want to do? I'm an entrepreneur, something. I don't know. no one wants to, they don't know what they want to do. So how do you tell people to find their passion? How do they find their passion?
Well, I don't know. For me, it came over time, right? For me, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I went from wanting to be an accountant to wanting to be a nurse to wanting to be a lawyer to wanting to be a neurologist. And now I'm an online health and fitness coach and social media. So my advice to anyone trying to find their passion or trying to find their forever job is just grow up. Like, I don't know. For me, it was maturity. Like, I don't know. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I wasn't that person that had everything figured out. I had great grades. I could have gone to any school that I wanted to. I could have done anything I wanted to in terms of business, sciences, etc. I could have gone on to med school if I wanted to, but I chose this because it's what I'm most passionate about. And that came to me because it was something that had continuously come up in my life. Fitness had always been something in my life. Even from a young age, my mom threw me into every single sport possible. Yeah, because like my parents divorced when I was 2, and my mom worked a full-time job in the city, and she wanted me to do more extracurriculars. She wanted me to be around more people because I was an only child growing up. I didn't have any brothers, sisters to teach me right from wrong. I didn't have like my family around a lot because it was literally my mom and I growing up majority of the time. My dad traveled for business and for work, so he was only in a couple, like once in a while. So my mom basically raised me. But for me, something that had always popped up in my life was fitness, was being active, was like making sure that other people are okay, because I was always in a group setting. So it was something that I didn't know at the time that I wanted to do, but it is a passion that had completely like shown up multiple times in my life. And I feel like when something is a pattern in your life, when you're seeing something that you love every single time and you have the opportunity to pursue it, I would. And like, my advice is just try to throw yourself into as many things as you enjoy as you possibly can. And one of those things is going to become a passion project for you. Whether you want to do business, whether you want to do entrepreneurship, or if you want to be a freaking lawyer, if your parents are lawyers too and follow their journey, do that. But it's honestly whatever lights a fire under your ass, because I find that a lot of people just pick a job because their parents recommend it, or this is what I should be doing so that I have a full-time income. For me, I thought I was going to be one of those people that like had it all figured out, was a business person, wore like literally like dressed up to the nines every single day. No, I'm in leggings and a sports bra every single day. And it's great, by the way. But that is like, for me, that's how I found my passion project. That's how I found the job that I want to do for the rest of my life, was just like kind of reflecting on what I thoroughly enjoy right now. And I wasn't going to let anything stop me from pursuing that at the time. I was like, I love this. I'm going to be successful in this. So I'm going to continue to pursue it until someone literally pulls me back and says, no, this is going to wreck your life. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that makes perfect. Everything you say is like, it sounds like I'm talking to a female version of me in the future. So that's great. Hopefully it doesn't annoy everyone to hear me on two sides of the screen. No. Did you fit in with kids your age?
When I was in like elementary school growing up, no. High school, I did a little bit more just because like I started to get into fitness and stuff like that. And like I was getting skinnier, so I always liked more, etc. Because I feel like there's always a facade around that. Like when your body starts to change, people start to notice, you start getting the, oh my God, you're looking great today, like type of situation. And I like that. So I was like more pursuant of that. So that's how the kind of like eating disorders kind of shifted within my brain. It's like, oh, people like me looking skinny. All right, let's do more. Let's get smaller. People are going to like me.
Let me edit that. Did you feel like you fit in with the other people?
No, never.
Okay. Why? Talk to me about that.
Never, because I felt that I did not suit everyone's version of their best friend, of the perfect person, of the perfect girl. Like I never felt that I was in with them. I just always felt like the outsider. Even when like I had my group of friends, I still felt like I don't belong here. This isn't what I should be doing. This isn't where I'm meant to do. Like I don't fit in. And that's even in university, to be honest, like my first year of university, I went to a different school than what I completed my degree at. And I didn't find a group of friends whatsoever. Felt like the outsider. I felt like I did not belong there. So my first year of university, I literally sat in my dorm room for the first semester and I hardly left. I went through a really hard time when I was in my first year of university. Like literal, like full depression, did not want to go out, did not want to be around anyone because I didn't feel like I found my people. I didn't feel like I found my group to like support me, or my group to like move together into second year, you know? It was like I felt like I was alone.
Yeah. That when did you really feel like for the first time, oh, so this is what it's like to have friends, or this is what it's like to have that group?
Well, I would say over the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm 23 turning 24. I found my group at the age of 20. So it took a lot for me to get there, but I can count on my hands the amount of people that are my best friends. I have 5 best friends and that is it. Plus Brandon, of course, he's my best friend, but he's also my boyfriend. He doesn't count in that situation. But I literally have 5 girls that I can count on no matter what, and that is it. And I find that that is truly a number, that or less is the amount that people can truly count on, because when you find your group, it's normally quite small because they are people that will be there for you through everything, that you feel like you can belong, that you can literally like tell your soul to, like break down, tell them every single thing that you want about your life, every single thing that's going on. But yeah, it's taken me that long to find that group.
I feel like that's very important for people to hear, because it's very important for me to hear. I mean, because you have almost 100,000 followers on Instagram. All these people, I assume a lot of them think, oh, well, she just fits in with everybody. She's perfect, right? You're a goddess in their mind. But you're more like them than they realize. If they're following you, they probably recognize something similar or something's resonating. And the reason it's resonating is because you're talking to yourself. So it's really the reason they resonate is because they're like you. No matter how much they might think you're on this pedestal, you're human. We're all similar. And that's why I love doing this podcast, because whatever different walk of life I bring on the show, whether it's an ice cream reviewer he's going to come on in like a week or two, he made his Instagram thing from just reviewing ice creams, or an online fitness coach like yourself, we all have similar mindsets in some way or another that drive us to do what we're doing to be better, right?
100%. I agree with that. Everyone is just trying to do more and to be better. Well, majority of people. Some people are okay just being okay, you know? And that's okay. That's completely up to them. I respect whoever decides to do that. But there's a lot of people in this world that are the same. And there's a lot of people in the world that just want to do more and be better for everyone else and just help as much as they possibly can and do their part, you know?
Yeah. So 16-year-old Jordy obviously didn't see herself where you are now. But you now, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Big question. Well, business side of things, I want to do a lot more of that. Not only online coaching, I have a couple other things that I want to work on in terms of equipment side of things, in terms of activewear side of things. So I really want to develop those side of my businesses. I also would love to go freaking pro and be a bikini pro. I don't know if Olympia is in my future, but I definitely want to be a pro. That is something that I truly want to accomplish within the next 5 years for sure. I'm only prepping for my first competition, so I've never done this before. So I'm really excited to just step on stage in general, but within the next 5 years, I definitely want to become pro. Relationship side, definitely want to be married within the next 5 years.
Brandon, are you listening? I hope you are. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Sometimes, especially if I'm with someone for sure. I'm getting old, okay? I'm turning 24.
You can't say that because when you're 30, you'll go, oh my God, what was I talking about? And then you'll be 40 and you'll be like, oh my God, what was I talking about? And you'll be 50, you'll just not care anymore.
Exactly. No. But like I definitely want to like settle down, have like a home, a family life, get married. Don't know children that soon. Maybe one at that point, but in business side of things, I want to be as successful as I possibly can. I still want to be helping as many people as I can, hopefully more. Yeah, and that's about it. Everything else is like amazing. Spending time with family, friends, etc. That is so important to me as well. So definitely having them around me would be freaking fantastic forever.
Yeah. So Brandon is a little controversial in the sense that he's open about PED use. He's open about his whole life. He's very transparent. Do you get a lot of backlash or hate either riding off the back of him or in your own field, people coming after you for whatever reason?
Some people have tried to say that Brandon, I've like backtailed off of Brandon, which is never the case because I had my own business prior. My business was successful prior. Social media has probably grown a bit, but his has also grown. We've grown together, which is different than like other people saying that it's from him because I've already had my entire life kind of developed prior. Prior to Brandon, I actually had an entire life in itself. I was in a relationship for about 5 years. I had a house and two dogs and a relationship and everything. So for me, I've already like had that life of being settled and like that. So I definitely do get backlash from social media. People are sometimes not so nice, especially, but it hasn't been as bad as you think. There's some people that have created fake accounts that have messaged me, tried to get between Brandon and I or anything like that. And it's really sad to see because it's people that have nothing better to do with their lives that are quite negative and just want to inflict as much pain on others as possible, which like nothing against them. That's fine. People have a right to do whatever they want. And I will never hold onto grudges from anyone doing that. I just, when I see that stuff, it's very sad and it's very upsetting for sure. But it's accepting that it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks if we're good. Like at the end of the day, it's about no one else. It's just about us. Like, yeah. And I think that's what people need to remember in any relationship. No matter what other people are saying about you, about your relationship, etc. If you two are okay and you guys are killing it, you guys are loving each other, you guys are succeeding together, doing whatever you can to just be together, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what else is happening around. The world's still going to circulate. People are still going to say shit. But at the end of the day, like just focus on you, focus on your people, focus on your relationship, and nothing else will matter in that sense.
So over social media, it's a little easier. It's not easy, but it's a little easier to go, okay, well, this person's just a troll living under a bridge that has nothing better to do than message me their hate comments. But for someone that doesn't have a following as big as yours, where you have fans, you have supporters, and you have found the real tangible 5 people that you know, love, and trust. For people that haven't found that yet and or don't have a large following of people that can validate the fact that, people do root for me, people are my fans, when they get that negative feedback in real life or over online, it can really crush somebody. How do you recommend people that don't have that core group or that larger following handle hate like that when they're trying to accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish?
Honestly, this has been an exercise that I've also done with some of my girls because some people in their lives have been negative towards their fitness journeys or wanting to do certain things or succeed, etc. And I had always recommended to write down a list, 2 lists. One is going to be for the people that truly believe, trust, push you to be better, always motivate you to do more, and write those names down. Send them a message, tell them how much you appreciate them. Make sure that those people are the ones that you can truly depend on. Write down the people that you feel are talking poorly about you or that you think they're your friends, but they're not supporting you or anything like that. And I know it's going to be hard, but you're going to have a conversation with them. You're going to send them a message and be like, I know that you have said this, 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 or I know that maybe you're feeling this type of way to me, and I'm sorry if you feel that way, but I would appreciate it if you would respect the fact that I'm trying to do what I need to do to succeed. And I wish you nothing but the best. If you can support me, great. If you can't, I don't need to see you. I don't need to hear from you. And I wish you all the best in life. And to be honest, a lot of my girls have gone through that, and it's made them stronger, and it's pushed them to grow as a person, because you're having those hard conversations that you really don't want to have a confrontation with someone. But at the same time, it's not healthy for you personally to have those thoughts going into your head, be like, oh my God, this person's talking shit. Oh my God, this person thinks I'm this. Why do they think this way? I don't understand. I'm trying my best. Like, that's all I'm trying to do. But at the end of the day, if those thoughts are still going through your head, you're letting that person in. You're letting that person control your thoughts. And you need to stop that, because you don't need that negativity in your life. That's when you have those hard conversations. That's when you push those people out of your life. You either push them to get on board or get out. And at the end of the day, there's so many people in this world that will forever support you. Doesn't matter if they are surrounded by you. Doesn't matter if you see them every day. It's okay. Have those conversations. Send them a message if you can't be face to face with them. If it's easier for you to just send them a quick message and be like, hey, like, this is how I'm feeling, blah, 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 blah. Either get on board or get out type of thing. And I've had to do that personally. I've gone through that as well. And people have either said, okay, have a good one, or they're like, so sorry. I hope that you don't take this the wrong way, but like, I want you to succeed as well. I just don't know how you're doing it, or I don't know what I need to do to get there, and I'm jealous, or feelings like that, you know? So I've had those conversations with people as well, but it's those hard conversations that make you grow as a human being as well.
It's crazy having this conversation, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, or some, maybe not a lot. I don't know, but I'm sure there are some people out there that think, oh, well, she's got it easy. She's got it made, and she's just bubbly and happy all the time because nothing's ever wrong. But I can tell from this conversation, you have such a strong mindset, and you have so much mental strength in not only what you've overcame in your past, but I mean, you can only fake the things you're saying so much, and it's maybe you are, but I highly doubt it. The way you're talking like this, it's motivating to me, and I'm sure it's going to motivate people if they watch this, which I hope some people come watch this. But to round it off, I could ask you something like, "What's your favorite cheat meal?" But that's no fun. I ask everyone that comes on this show this, because it kind of sums up what our whole conversation probably represents, but puts it into your own little bow-tied package and sends it on its way. What is your driver? We all know that motivation is like the little push that Susie gets, the little push on the swing set, but Susie can't just swing forever off of that little push. Susie needs to pump her legs. Susie needs to learn how to go higher and come back down and swing. So the pumping the legs is the driver, if you didn't get that. Anyway, okay. What drives you to be better every day and to do what you do every day?
I want to help as many people as I possibly can accomplish whatever goal they want to set for themselves in their life. And I want everyone to pursue their dreams, no matter what it takes, no matter how much it's going to push them, to challenge them. It's okay. You need to do whatever it takes in this world to accomplish your dreams and your goals. And I want to be a motivator and a driver to help others get to that point in their life. So it's always been for me about helping others do exactly what they want, pursue whatever dream that they can possibly get after.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show.